brought back, and I am woefully underprepared because this isn't even the day it dropped. It is day 2, since our second day since the story dropped, and I am just now getting to it due to mostly connection issues. But so there was an intention to do like an in-between video, but life got in the way. So I'll try to like bullet point some stuff now. Chapter 6 is still probably my weakest, and I think the only ones that kind of rival it in terms of strength is from like the season 1 time frame. Of like chapter 1's kind of weak, and that's just because it's short and it's set up. Chapter 2 is a little weaker because I feel like it doesn't delve into Roja and the themes of that book as much, but we also got supplementary stuff with Time Killing Time. So there's been ways that it's been sprinkled in more and can be sprinkled in more, because overall the chapter itself felt weak. I feel like it did a lot of cool things, but also left a lot of things open. But we're in new territory. We're now with Dawn and Don Q in P Corp, and a freaking bombshell dropped in the Warp Express. So this entire thing threw a huge like curveball into some of my expectations for the chapter, and because the like amusement park view and such kind of was there, but now there's the blood fiend vampire, and that kind of threw my original expectations out of the water. And I'm still coming into this from just that Warp Express and some of the preview things. I'm currently uncertain how much Dawn is aware of their blood fiendness. So how much does she know? Or, but it also seems like there's potentially another personality, or she's just somehow more lucid in that state. But she doesn't seem to acknowledge becoming that, and some of the quotes from the trailers have her like against the blood fiends and viewing them as villainous or miscreants and whatnot. That it's just, is her viewpoint because she knows and has sort of an internalized self-hatred of that, or is it not knowing and viewing them as these things? So I have questions is all, but hopefully they will be answered soon. But I've already heard, I've seen a few little snips of things here on Twitter. They're nothing with enough context to really, I feel like, spoil me to some effect, because I have no idea where they occur. And the only other thing I've heard is it is a better intro than chapter 6, so I am hopeful that this will be an enjoyable time. Which treats the life and the contracts of the not so famous but valiant Don Quixote. Okay. This feels like a tone setter. The night approacheth with great haste. Yet thou shalt hew open a path, cleaving the shadows in twain, with the blessing and approval of thy family, of which there is no equal. Challenge and vanquish all the things perilous. and at last reach true happiness. Thus, how indubitable that the magnificence with which mine ingenious adventures of day-to-day shall shine, which is our adventure as well. Wait. That's not Faust. I don't think that's Faust.
다들 기억하지? 무릇 해결사란 생각은 순수하게, 말은 정직하게, 행동은
Remember the
관대하게.
words right. A fixer must maintain a head clear of corruption, speech free of deceit, and conduct guided by clemency.
모험은 용맹스럽게 하고, 고난은
Show courage in
견뎌가며,
adventure and bear pain in suffering.
어려운 자들에게는
And pray, forget not the mercy of for the downtrodden.
마지막에는
And last but not least,
목숨을 걸고서라도
pursue your dreams even if it means wagering your life in the chase.
이 중 하나라도 지키지 못한다면
Should you ever fail to stand by even one of these tenets,
내가 찾아와서 너희 둘의 머리통을 때릴 테니까.
I'll smack you guys upside the head myself. Huh?
언제나 긴장하며 똑바로 나아가도록.
Still yourself and always keep moving forward.
그거 참
Is that not
치사한 협박이 아닐 수 없군.
a threat most unfair? There's voices layering.
나리 치사하네.
Over Don's text. Okay. I have feelings. Manager Esquire, how unfair of thee.
치사하다 말했네.
Most unfair, I say. What is it this time?
이 몸에 차례가 온 줄 알았는데.
For once I have believed that 'twas my time to shine.
그래서 이번에야말로 마무리를 멋지게 해내고 싶었는데.
Much did I wish to be the one to pull off the final flourish in its deserved splendor. Okay, Dawn does not know. Dawn does absolutely not know.
신문에 제대로 이름을
'Twas my
날릴 수
chance to
있었을
mark my
절호의
name in the
기회였는데.
newspapers. Dawn. Poor Dawn. She doesn't know. Returning to the P Corp Warp train station seemed to always remind Don Quixote of our last misadventure. She'd repeat the exact same complaint a few times by now.
그런데 왜 그렇게 얼굴 표정이
Wherefore
무거지상인
dost
것인가,
thou
나리?
make an expression of such dourness, Manager Esquire? I don't even have an expression, let alone a face.
그렇지 않소, 나리. 보이지
How
않는
untrue, how
것인가?
untrue. Dost thou not see it?
조그마한 동물이나
All things
심지어
blessed with
남들이
existence has
하찮다고 하는
heart,
풀떼기라
even the
하더라도
little critters, and
마음이란
indeed
것이
even the
있다네.
blades of grass,
당연히
as
표정도
which
있을
most people
수밖에.
bother not to linger even for a fleeting thought upon. Forsooth, an existence of heart and necessities, an expression wouldst thou not say.
그렇기에 우리는
That is to say,
어떤
we
것이든
mustn't let the
약하다여
strength of the
무시하지
body
말고
be the
올곧은
scale
마음으로
with which we
정의를 항상
judge one's
행해야
measure.
한다.
Thus preserve,
말일세.
let only thy unbending heart be the tool with which thou best justice. Hark, hark.
누가 채택 입 열게 했냐?
Right, out with it. Who encouraged the last this time?
듣고 있는가? 나리!
Oh my god. Hearken on to me, Manager Esquire. Some time ago in the freight car of the warp train, Don Quixote, hey, can you hear me? Say something? Don Quixote regards me silently. No, that's some eldritch being who I can't help but wish is Don Quixote gazing at me. She opens her mouth. My instincts is screaming at me to not listen to her, but Don Quixote?
끝난 것인가?
Has the ended? No. I don't think it's ended. Is that so?
나에게 로신한테를
Rocinante to me.
부탁하지.
I beseech you. I don't know if I gave her the right answer. Though my answer was an almost instinctual relay of a thought that manifested in my head. Don Quixote closes her eyes upon hearing my reply, though drifting away into a gentle, pleasant dream. And I carefully slip the ragged pair of running shoes she called Rocinante onto her feet. And I make a silent wish. Let her blood-red eyes never, ever open again.
벌써 도착한 것인가?
Have we arrived?
아니! 이게 어떻게 된 것인가? 우리가 쫓던 그 악독한 혈기가 어찌하여 흔적도 없이 사라져버렸는가?
What devilry is this? Whither hath the villainous blood fiend gone? Don Quixote?
설마
Does
나리가
that strike down the
그자를
curve?
잡은 것인가?
And back to present.
아쉽긴 하네.
I kind
우리
of feel
중에
like we all
파우스트랑
missed
단테
out on
말곤
something cool.
아무도 마지막 장면을
Wish I
보지
was there with
못했다는 거.
Faust and Dante when it all went down to see how you guys managed to kill that guy, you know?
엄밀히 말하자면 그
Let's not
자리에
leave a certain
저자도
someone
있었다.
out of the story, She was there as well, though she embarrassingly passed out like a coward in front
림버스
of that
컴퍼니
blood fiend.
수치 그 자체로
The shame of the Limbus Company, I'd say.
림컴수
SOLC. Pathetic.
우리도 기절한 거
Come on,
똑같지
we
않니?
all passed out too, didn't we?
역시
I suppose I
저라도
should
남아있었어야
have been
했는데
there to take the reins of the sinners.
그렇게 혈기가 무서웠던 거예요,
Were
돈키호테 씨?
you that scared of the blood
괜찮아요.
fiend, Don Quixote?
전
That's
이해할 수
okay.
있어요.
I understand how you feel.
진정한 영웅은
A
각종의
true hero
모욕에도
standeth still and calm,
유연하게
unmoving in the face of such mockery.
확실히 결정적인 순간을
I
놓친 건
agree, Roger. I
로자 씨
do feel
말대로
we
좀
missed out on
아쉽긴
something
하네요.
big.
저희가 본 건
Because
열차
when we
안에 퍼져
got
있는
up there in the aftermath,
혈기의
all we saw was a
파편들과
very
어떻게
confused
해야 할지
looking
감이 안 온다는
Dante
분위기를 풀풀
standing over the
풍기는
blood fiend's
단테뿐이었거든요.
exploded, melted parts. I was standing confused, was I?
맞네! 깨워주지 그랬는가? 이 양뺨 싸다구를 철썩 때리는 한이 있더라도!
Forsooth, why didn't thou eke me up? I would have even forgiven thee for slapping my cheeks upside down.
그래서 정확히 무슨 일이 일어났었던
So,
건가요?
what actually happened in there? I already told you guys earlier, didn't I?
네?
What? You just
그게,
trailed off with that's you know,
이것만
until we change the
계속했는데.
subject.
대체 뭘
What are you
말해줬다는 거죠?
talking about?
혹시 머리에 불길이 치솟으면서
Executive manager,
횡설수설하셨던
perhaps you
그때처럼
were in a
정신착란
similar
증세를 보인
state
것은
of
아니십니까?
explosive delirium to the one on who you experienced earlier. I am referring to the time when your head burst into flames. No, it began glaring at me warily as though my clock head was about to explode at any moment. That didn't happen.
아니다라.
Didn't happen, huh?
그럼 상대를 바꿔서
Well, if you
다른
won't talk,
목격자셨던
then
파우스트 씨 하신
I
말씀
turn to Miss
있으신가요?
Faust, our second eyewitness. Can we get some statements from you, madame? Roja asked confidently, still in the mood to play detective.
구테어 파우스트 쪽에서
Faust does
전달드릴
not have
내용은
any information
없을 것
she
같군요.
deems necessary to share at the moment.
그럼 다시 탄테 씨에게
Gotcha. Then right back at you, witness Dante.
자, 너희가 주의 깊게 들어야 하는
Listen
전달
up. I
사항이
have an
있다.
important announcement to make, so pay close attention. I have no idea if it was a coincidence or not, but Virgilus stepped in at just the right moment to divert the sinners away from me.
알다시피 우리는 피사에서 의뢰를
As you
받았다.
all are well aware, we have been contracted by P Corp to work on a case here. I
매번 같은
suppose we've done this
패턴이니
song and dance
이제는
enough times for
설명해
you to
주지
know
않아도
what's coming.
감을
네네.
Right,
이번에도
right. I suppose
뒤틀리민족
we'll be
항상
having a
체인지
scuffle,
때려
song,
잡고
dance,
넘기고
whatever the
먹고
higher
뒤지고 뭐
up
그러시겠다고.
tops want with distortions or anomalies or what have you. Did I get that right?
그리고 끝에 가서는 황금 가지를 우리가 차지할 수 있는 의뢰라는
Tis a
것도
quest that
알고
leads
있네.
us to lay a claim upon another golden bow in our hands, is it not? Don Quixote replies, brimming with excitement.
저 둘이
Yes,
대답할
well,
정도면 나머지도
if the two
확실하게
of you
알고
were
있다는
able to
거겠지.
catch on that quick, then I don't suppose any further elaboration is necessary. It's talking about as the slow ones of the group, huh, Virgilus?
하지만 이번 작전의 형태는 조금
However, this operation will be somewhat...
아니
No, let me
정정하지.
correct myself. This operation will
상당히
be drastically
달라졌다.
different from anything you
어쩌면
have done so
지금까지
far.
작전 중에
It may be
제일
one of our most
껄끄러워질 수 있을 거다.
bothersome missions.
뭐 안 그랬던 작전이
Well,
있었나요?
When hasn't it been like that?
갑자기 이 인원의
I
3배
guess it
정도
would
되는
be pretty
사람들
bothersome
사이에서
to have to tag
단체로
along with a
움직이거나
group
하는
that's
좀
2-3 times
껄끄러울 수는
larger than our
있겠지만
own, though, but
수감자들의 감은
the
나날이
sinner's intuition
좋아지는군요.
appears to be growing sharper by the day.
아
Are we
정말
actually?
저 그냥
You know what? I think
앞으로
I'm just gonna
무턱대고 추측하는 말은
keep
하지
these
말까
guesses
봐요.
to myself from now on.
확정 사항이다.
It's not something that can be
세
negotiated.
배나
Well,
되는 강적이
it's
달려들 것이라고 하는 것보단
isn't it better to join a
아무
group
편이
3
낫지
times our
않겠나.
size rather than to oppose it?
합동 작전을 한다는 것인가? 상대는 누구지?
Will this be a joint operation then? Who will we be working with?
아직 합동 작전에 대한
Can't say I have the fondest memories
좋지
of
않은 기억이
joint
남아 있는데 말이지.
operations.
아팠던 기억이었어.
Memories of pain, if you will. Let me trying to see if I can adjust something. Yeah, that's not good. A little bit. Hopefully that doesn't mess with it. I just wanted it slightly out of my eye line. Our mission at K-Corp was our first and last experience with a joint operation. How long? Ooh. How much of a joint operation was that?
아직도 그때 메르소의 판
I
한쪽이
still
날아가서
vividly
기둥에
remember watching
부딪히고
Marisol's
떨어졌던 게
arm flying
생생하게
off, smacking against the
기억난다고.
pillar and squelching onto the floor. Yeah, they're more damaged than when we started.
정확히는
A more accurate recounting of the events would have included the fact that my scapula was also forcibly separated from my torso. I don't think I needed the additional recount.
그냥 이번에도 우리끼리
Can't
하면
we
안 돼?
just keep
다른
this between
사람들은 영
us? The
도움도 안
other
되고
guys will just get
거리적거리기만
in the
할걸.
way and screw everything up.
저 녀석의 말에 적극 동의하게 되는
I
건
can't believe I'm saying this,
오랜만이군.
but I strongly agree with that one.
오만한 발언이군.
How presumptuous of you all.
너희들만 그런
You
생각을
do well to
가지고
remember that you are
작전에
not the only
참여하지
team
않을
coming
것이라는
into this
점
operation harboring
꼭
such
기억하고 있는 게
arrogant
좋을
thoughts.
거다. 이번 의뢰는
This
해결사
contract is, after all, an open contract posted by the Hana Association, the association overlooking the operation of fixers. Virgilus stopped himself, noticing an ominous aura from one of the sinners. I can guess. There's the Don Quixote practically vibrating with excitement.
이쯤에서
Someone
아마
gag Don Quixote
돈 키호테
at your earliest
입장
convenience.
배신마저
내가 맞지.
Allow me.
쥐구멍만한 사무소의
Anyway,
해결사가
this means that our colleagues joining this operation won't be any
협회 소속
ragtag bands of
해결사들의
fixers,
모임이 될
from
수
some
있다는
alleyway
거다.
office no one ever heard of. It is very likely that fixers from somewhat established associations will be joining us. I don't feel like I need to repeat that.
내놈
Stop.
주둥이 좀 가만히 놔둘 순 없나?
You stop your wriggling your lips. I am so glad that Otis was here to stop Don Quixote from exploding into joy. Because if she hadn't, we'd be drawing the attention of every single person in the sizable radius around us.
그래서 뭐 어떤 걸 처리해야
Right,
되는
so
건데?
what kind of monster are we dealing with this time?
아니,
More than that,
어떤 식으로
how do they want it
처리하는지가
done?
궁금해.
뒷골목
You're talking
해결사처럼
like some shady
말씀하시네요.
backstreet fixers. Virgilius looked up just as Heathcliff asked his question.
자세한 건
Further details
때마침 우리에게 걸어오고
will be
있는
shared by our client who graces us with her timely arrival. Oh, okay, I've seen fan art of Faust in this outfit. But I haven't seen this person. In which is explored Limbus Company's not exactly first alliance with the Wing. So she is the one we're supposed to meet here at the station.
이거 특색 붉은
My,
시선님을
what
뵈어
an honor
영광이군요.
this is, to meet the Red's gaze himself in the flesh.
그 외에도 모두들
Everyone,
반갑습니다.
I am pleased to
저는
meet you
피사
all.
아카이빙 부서의 부장 채사라입니다.
I am Cesara, head manager of the P Corp, or archival department.
아카이빙 부서?
Archival
뭔가 기록하는
department.
일이라도 하는
You
건가?
are bookkeepers, then,
그렇다고 할 수 있죠.
in a manner
다른
of
날개는
speaking,
몰라도
yes.
피사에서는
It is
꽤
a rather
중요한
significant
부서랍니다.
department within P Corp, regardless of how other wings treat their own archivists.
그런 중요한 부서의 부장이
Is a big
찾아왔다는
wig
건
like the head manager of
어디
such an
정말로
important
이 회사가 꽤
department
유명해진 건가?
Herman is here to see us herself, then boy, I guess we really are putting our names out there.
틀린 말은 아니네요.
Not an entirely
당신들
incorrect
림버스 컴퍼니에
assessment.
대한 이야기는
I did hear
건너
some
건너서
things about you
들려오더라고요.
and Limbus Company through the word of mouth.
뭐라더라. 황금가지라는 것만 얻을 수
What was it?
있다면
Ah, yes,
죽음까지
a medium-sized
불사하면서
enterprise
의뢰를
with its
성공시켜내고야만
employees
중견
gladly
회사라고
breathing
하던데.
death to see a contract to its end, all just to obtain these golden balls.
틀린 말은
That's
아니지만
true, I guess, but hey, she's actually making us sound pretty impressive, huh?
바로 그것이네. 본인과 동료들은 수많은 역경과 죽음을 각오하며 무수한 악들을 처단해냈지.
Forsooth, I and my dearest compatriots have vanquished countless evils through all kinds of hardships and deadly foes. Brave death indeed. The other sinners were more confused than impressed by her description, but it was clear from Don Quixote's practically twinkling eyes that she was immensely infatuated by it.
이쪽에서도 이번
We
의뢰에
did
대한
receive a
대략적인 내용을
brief of this
전달받아
contract.
다양한
A
해결사들이
particular
모여
stubborn
조차례나
urban
포고를
nightmare case,
시도하고 있는
which all
도시
kinds of
악몽급
fixers have
사건이
failed to
있다고.
root despite their repeated attempts.
맞아요.
Correct.
해결사들이 올
I doubt it is
때마다
customary for the head manager of an entire department to greet every no-name fixer office looking to make a name for
네.
themselves.
그것 또한
Correct again.
맞습니다.
더군다나
And seeing how you've
공식적인
gone
자리도
to
아닌
lengths to
곳에서
privately deliver this
의뢰를
particular
전달한다는
contract
건
to our hands,
우리에게 원하는 게
this isn't a
도시
simple
악몽의
urban nightmare
포괄뿐만이 아니라
eradication contract, is it?
그 이상의
I
무언가를
sense that your expectations of us extend beyond simply defeating it.
아까 말한 대로
There must be a particular task you're expecting us to brave
불사하면서
death for, given your
무언가를
emphasis.
해-
이상한
What an
기분이네요.
odd feeling. I wasn't going to hide it from you anyway, but it
간파당한
feels as
느낌이죠.
though you're reading me like an open book. We stared dumbfounded silence as Virgilius effortlessly cut through the hoops to get to the core of the contract.
맞아요.
Yes,
토벌
your
대상이
people
있는
were
위치
quite
어딘가에
blunt about
황금가지라는
this
게
when
있다고
you
해요.
contacted us first.
이건 당신들 쪽에서
That there's this
우리에게
golden
먼저
ball
연락을
somewhere
취해서
near
말한
our
정보죠.
eradication target.
처음에 그 연락을 받았을 때 얼마나
My, I was so
황당했던지.
astonished when I picked up that
황금가지가
call.
뭐냐는
Your people
말에도 정확하게 대답을
refused to
해주지도
answer our
않고
question,
정확한
refused to tell
사표는
us what those
당신들
golden balls
인원이
are,
직접
and
그
insisted that we let you
구역으로
people
들어가야지만
inside the
알 수 있다고.
zone to
난
confirm the
장난 전화인 줄
exact coordinates.
알았다니까요.
I almost thought it was a prank call or something.
하지만 그 순간
I believe we
결코
also
거절하지
made you an
못할
offer you couldn't
제안으로
refuse.
함께
장담하는데 당신들
I don't
회사에는
know if it's
정보
particularly
수집력이 어마어마하게 대단한 정보원이나 유능한 정보 부서가
versatile
있을 거예요.
agent or a very proactive intelligence department, but your company has some serious intel gathering capabilities. So Sarah let out a deep sigh and leaned against the wall, her shoulders slumping slightly.
그래서
So what
토벌해야 되는 게
exactly are
정확히
we
어떤 건데요?
eradicating this time?
여러 해결사가
Given
모인 걸
that we have
보면
hopeful fixers queuing up to join the
지난번처럼
mission,
지구에서
what
탈출한
is an
한성체라도
escaped
어딘가에 돌아다니고 있는
anomaly,
건가요? 혹은
abnormality
뒤틀림이라거나
wreaking havoc somewhere like last time? Or is it a distortion because of its is? Cereza wordlessly stared at Ishmael as she began to rapid fire her list of questions.
설마.
Right, forgot to
그러니까
explain. So
환상체나
abnormalities and
뒤틀림이라는
distortions
건
are like these kind of
일종의
monsters
괴물
that may
같은
look
건데요.
similar at first glance. If only
차라리
our
그런
problem
것이었으면
was just
더
another
좋았을
monster to
뻔했을
deal with.
텐데.
Something caught my eye immediately after we arrived at this place. The missing persons flyers. Countless flyers, each in search of different person, were taped to the pillars inside the station. Looks like the people of P Corp are randomly going missing in no discernible age or gender pattern. So Sarah, realizing that we were staring at the wall of missing persons flyers, began.
전단지가 떼어지지 않고
As you see, the
종이가
flyers
너덜거릴
are
때까지
all
붙어 있다는
old,
건
faded, tattered to the point where the papers are starting to peel off.
여전히 그들이
Which means
집으로
that none of
무사히
them have
돌아오지
returned
않고
home
있다는
safely.
뜻이죠.
토벌해야 하는 건
So we're not
개체가
dealing
아니라
with an entity then.
현상인가?
If it's a phenomenon,
행복한 미소가
the land
꽃피는
where
곳.
the happiest smiles bloom.
옛 이야기 속의 놀이공원
The amusement
La
park of
Mancha
fables and legends. La Mancha Land.
라만차 랜드.
La Mancha Land?
집계가 된 실종자만
More
현재 수십여 명.
than several dozen
아마
people have been
실제로는
reported
그
missing, but the
이상이겠죠.
real number is likely much higher.
2달 전
Most of the guests who visit La Mancha Land, which
이 라만차
mysteriously
랜드에 입장한
materialized 2 months
방문객들은
ago at the back streets of
오늘까지도
P
대부분
Corp,
퇴장하지
are
못하고
still trapped
있습니다.
within.
실종?
They have gone missing.
오로지 즐거움만이
Celsius?
가득해야 마땅한
Yet how
놀이동산에서
can that be? 'Tis against the nature of amusement parks to be so full of horror, not joy.
제가 할당된
I
직원들만으로는
simply do
처리가
not have enough
불가능했어요.
manpower under my authority
생긴
to
지
deal
사흘
with
만에
this.
도시 질병을
It was
부여받고
designated an urban
지금은
plague 3 days
도시
after
악몽이
its
되었죠.
appearance, and now it's escalated to an urban nightmare.
하지만 도시의
Curious,
별도
if it is an
아니고 도시
mere urban
악몽
nightmare,
정도라면
not even
P사가
a
자력으로
star of the
해결 가능한
city, then
수준이라고
shouldn't P Corp be able to
생각됩니다만.
easily handle this on its own?
그게 다른 부서에서는 그리 주목하지 않는 현상이라
Sorry.
전투 부서의 정규 직원들이 투입되지 않았거든요.
That's the thing. The other departments aren't really interested in this phenomenon, which means that the Marshal Department won't be sending their elite employees to handle this case. Huh? People are going missing, but not worth sending. Like, I'm assuming Marshal means like military-esque group?
왜 피사에서는 그들을 투입시켜주지 않은 겐가?
Yet, wherefore doth P Corp not deploy their elite forces to swiftly vanquish this risk to the lives of the innocent? Dante was now completely and emotionally invested in this gripping tale of tragedy that our client was sharing. Cesara seemed to be enjoying Don Quixote's excessive, almost theatrical reaction,
이 현상이 나타난
because the
장소가
phenomenon only
뒷골목이니까요.
affects the back streets. Okay, that's why. Okay, that makes more sense. Who cares about the backstreets? Running theme. Alright.
둥지였다면 당장이라도 압착 부서의 정예 요원들을 배치했을 거예요.
Imagine if it happened somewhere within the nest, squadrons of elite agents from the compression department would have descended the moment it manifested. Okay. Yeah, that works, I think. This should... Okay, yeah, that should work. Imagine if that happened, yeah.
그쯤하시죠, 제사라부장.
That's enough beating around the
그게
bush.
다는
Head
아니지
manager
않습니까?
Sarah, what more are you hiding?
당신의 직책이라면 타
You would have
부서
been a walk in the
직원을
park for someone of
투입해달라는
your
협조
status and
요청은
station to
일도
requisition
아니었을
agents from a
것이고.
different department.
림버스 컴퍼니를 선택한
So
이유는
explain, why did you really go
있지
through the trouble of hiring Limbus Company?
네네.
Yes,
나참
yes, you
못
really
이기겠군요.
are unrelenting.
알겠어요.
Fine, I
자백하겠습니다.
confess. The goal of our
저희
department
부서 라만차랜드를 없애는 것이 아닙니다.
isn't the eradication of La Mancha Land. Huh?
자,
Now you'll
당신들은
soon be heading into
다른
La Mancha Land
해결사들과
with the
함께
other fixers.
한 가지 조언을
A
드리자면
piece of advice, if you
당신들이
will,
황금
do not
가지를
let the
찾으러
other
왔다는
fixers know
사실을
that you are here to find
다른
the golden ball.
해결사들이 황금 가지라는 미지의 것이
If they somehow
어딘가에
find that
숨겨져 있다고
there
섣불리
is this mysterious
밝혔다면
artifact called the golden bowl hidden somewhere within that zone,
해결사들에겐 또
it
다른
could start
보상으로 여겨질
attracting
수도
unwanted
있으니까요.
attention from fixers who consider
괜히
that
저들을 자극하지 말라는 소리죠.
a bounty separate from the eradication reward. No need to stir the pot.
물론 눈치껏 저희
I'm
부서의
sure you are
목표가
all savvy enough to know that
라만차랜드의
it would
토벌이
be
아니라는
wise to
것도
keep
함구하는 게 좋겠죠.
quiet about the true objective of our department. If you know what I mean.
한마디로
I hear
P사와
you
림버스
loud and
컴퍼니
clear.
서로가 원하는
Let's
것을
keep this
조용히
hush-hush
안고
between P
처리하자는
Corp
소리
and Limbus Company.
정도로
We
일축할 수
both get what we
있겠네요.
want, and we can go our separate ways once this business is over. No fuss, no muss. Did I get that right? That's
정리가
a pretty good summary.
깔끔하시네요.
너무 얕잡아 보지 말도록. 그렇게
Who do you
멍청하게
think we
기밀을
are?
나불거릴
I can
자가
tell you
우리
right
중에
now that when it comes to OPSEC,
있을 수도 있나.
some of us might fall slightly behind.
이제 슬슬 본론으로 향하는 게 어떻겠습니까?
It's about time we get to the
이곳에
point.
오래 서 있을수록
We're only
시선만
attracting more
많아질
unwanted
뿐이니.
eyes by lingering here.
그렇네요.
That's true.
라만차랜드로 들어가
Here's your mission.
그곳을
Enter La
최초로
Mancha Land,
만들어낸 무언가
find the thing
혹은
or someone
누군가를 찾은 뒤
that created La Mancha
저에게
Land,
데려오세요.
La Mancha Land, and bring it to me.
누군가?
Or someone.
무언가일 수도 있다.
The thing or
정보가 너무
someone is too
생물인지
insufficient a
무슨
description.
알
We
수
do not
없는
even know
것인가?
what we seek is made of organic or inorganic material.
단순히 라만차랜드를
So
없애는
why do
걸로
you
끝나는
need
게
the
아니라
thing
만든
person
사람이
who
필요한 이유는
created La
뭔가요?
Mancha Land? Shouldn't eradicating it be good enough? Ceresa's eyes twinkled for a brief moment as they lingered on Sinclair.
왜 그러시나요?
Did I say something wrong?
그런 질문을 감히
I
할
don't
거라는
know. I
생각조차
suppose
하지
I was
못해서
flabbergasted by your
오히려
boldness of
말문이
daring to
막혔던가요?
ask a question like that.
제가 당신들에게
Notice how I'm
가지를
not
왜
asking
찾아
you
헤매고
why you're
있냐는
looking for the golden
질문을
balls.
하지 않아.
Ah,
뭐 굳이 숨길 만한 내용은
well, it's not
아니지만요.
like a big secret or anything.
굳이 말씀드리자면
If you really do want to
그
know, here
피해에
it
대한
is.
책임을
I just
묻기
want
위해서죠.
whoever or whatever it is behind this case to be held responsible for the damages they've caused.
맞는 말이지.
I
그런
feel like that's a
가감무도한
lie.
짓을 저지른
I
자에게
have a feeling that's a
마땅한
lie.
처벌이 내려져야 하는 법.
That sounds like a lie. Forsooth, the villain who hath committed such wicked atrocity and deserved punishment most fitting.
그리고 겸사겸사 다른
And
부서들을
as a little
제칠
bonus,
만한
I get to put
성과를
some
올려서
achievements under my belt
간만에
to give my
승진하면 더
department a
좋고요.
little push to rise above the others. I could use some promotion right about now, you know.
어차피 우리가
I suppose it doesn't
받아들이냐와는
matter
관계없이
whether we accept your
윗선과는
proposition or
이야기가 다
not.
끝난
You
사안이겠지.
must have already reached an agreement with the top brass of our company.
만약 우리가 그곳을 직접
Right, but
없애버리는데
what
성공한다고
if after
쳐도
kicking the phenomenon's
그 요상한
ass, we
놀이공원을
don't
만든
bother
놈이
bringing in
너희에게
the
안
bloke who
들어오냐?
made that bizarre amusement park?
그땐 어쩔 거냐?
What do you do then? Heathcliff spoke crassly, but it was a reasonable question. After all, there was also a chance that we could fail to bring the culprit here, even if we wanted to.
당장 손에 넣을
Well,
순
then I suppose we'll
없겠지만
start looking into what these golden
황금가지라는 걸
balls
우리
are,
쪽에서도
even if we
차차
won't get our
연구를
hands
해보기
on them
시작하겠죠.
immediately.
갖고 오지 않으면
Oh, so you'll start
앞으로
getting in
우리의
our
것을
way if we
빼앗을 수도
don't bring
있다는
you what you want, is that it?
물론 데려온다면 굳이
It would
그런
be a rather
불확실한 걸 연구할 필요는
unnecessary and
없겠죠.
cost-ineffective research investment, of course, but you just might force our hand if you don't do as we requested.
그리고
Besides, while
지금이야
Lamanchaland is only an
라마차랜드가 도시
urban
악몽에
nightmare at the
머무르고
moment,
있다 해도
its
그
threat level
위험도의
is rising
성장세가 가파르다
exponentially.
보니
This means
도시
that the more and
곳곳에서
more people in the city
조금씩
are beginning
주목받고
to catch
있어요.
wind of this case.
지금 이 순간에도
Numerous
여러
fixers from
해결사들이
all over the city are gathering
라만차랜드의
here at this
토벌을
very
위해
moment to
도시
eradicate
전역에서 모이고
Lamanchaland
있기도
to
하고.
demonstrate my point.
라만차랜드를 토벌할 사람들은
So
우리
you
말고도
say
많다는
we're
겁니다.
not your only option.
돈과 명예를 원하는 자들은
Who doesn't love fame and
언제나 마르는
fortune?
법이 없죠.
We could always get a truckload of willing participants if we wanted to. Oh,
어쩌면 그
and maybe just
해결사들도
maybe some fixers among them may find themselves becoming
황금가지라는 것에
particularly
관심을
interested in
가질
these
수도
golden
있을
balls.
거예요.
I swear these
값진
precious
것이
artifacts
있으면
must have a
단내를
particular
풍겨오기
smell that
마련이니까.
attracts fixers like bees to honey.
다른
Got it.
세력이나 해결사가
You want this
눈독
mission
들이기
taken
전에
care of before
조용히
the
거래하자는
phenomenon attracts
거군요.
too much attention.
이번에도 이야기의 핵심을
Oh,
잘
you're cutting right
파악하네요.
through the fluff again.
맞아요. 다행인
Anyways, you
일이죠.
got that right.
서로가 찾고 있는 게
Isn't it so fortunate how we both seem to be
서로에게만
under the
가치
impression
있다고
that
판단하고 있으니까.
what each of us is looking for won't be too much use to the other, for now at least. I just had to check, and my overlay is, our avatar is just barely eaching out of overlapping text, but it works.
그래서 당신들도
I
황금가지에
suppose
대해
that's why
말을
you're
아끼는
keeping the
거고
nature of those golden
저희도
balls
라만차랜드를 만든 무언가에
and
대해서
that is why we are
입조심을
keeping it
하는
on the
거죠.
down low about what created La Mancha Land.
타다.
Agreed. The
아는 놈이
more eyes
많을수록
observe and
정보는
info, the
가치를
less value it
잃지.
has.
흔해 빠진
Like run-of-the-mill
공산품처럼.
mass-produced products.
그럼 그렇지. 난 또
Of
기념품이라도
course, it's
챙겨주는
all
줄
right.
알았잖아.
Talk.
괜히 따로
I got
그런 게
excited for a
아니었네.
second thinking we were about to get some nice souvenirs.
당신들에게 거는 기대가 커요.
We have a very high expectation for every single one of you.
죽음까지도
After
불사시는
all, you're all
분들이잖아요.
willing to die for this, aren't you? She keeps saying that. This is what every single one of our contracts has been like. Our stability and safety go out the window the moment a mission begins in earnest. We share nothing but our cold goals and objectives, not exchanging anything deeper than the shallowest transaction. I'd grown to accept this as an inevitable, but I do know that this is probably not the right way. Amidst the dull and resigned eyes of the other sinners, Don Quixote's eyes alone burned with passionate fire.
제사라 부장이시여,
Thou
믿어주시게.
mayest put thy faith in us, head manager Cesara.
이 돈
I,
큐테와
Don
림버스
Quixote, and my
컴퍼니의 동료들이
compatriot is here
라만차랜드를
at
없애고
this company shall
실종된
put an end to
사람들까지
the terrible
구해내리라.
reign of this La Mancha land and rescue every single victim it hath claimed.
그 가난한 라만차랜드의 창조자 또한 데려올
And
테니
mark my words, we shall
부디
pinch this vile
모두를
rascal who
대신하여
created La Mancha
엄벌에
land by the
처해주시게.
collar and present them before thee, smite them with the hammer of justice in everyone's stead.
어머나, 그거 참 안심이 되는 말이네요.
My,
웬만한
you
해결사들보다 더
certainly know how to
믿음직스러운걸요?
inspire confidence. That's more than I can say for the vast majority of fixers I've known. I,
이
Don
돈
Quixote,
교태
shall
자네를
battle
위해 용맹하고
valiantly and
명예롭게
honorably.
싸워서
Thus shall my name be
전당에
forever etched in the
이름을
halls of P Corp.
남기리라.
Don Quixote was bouncing up and down, like she was prepared to stand on Cesar's beck and call.
그만.
Please stop.
그 짧은 시간에
This woman certainly
사람
wasted
하나
no
다루는
time
법을
figuring out how to
정확하게
turn her into putty in her hands.
저 녀석이 너무 쉬운 거
It really
아니냐.
ain't that difficult to see how the last works, to be fair.
자, 그럼 슬슬
Well then,
이동할까요?
shall we get a move on?
떠나세. 자, 안내해
Let us depart.
주시겠는가?
Lead the way, Lady Cesar.
안타깝지만 안내는
Oh,
없어요.
I'm sorry. Sadly,
저는
I can't go
여러분들이랑
there
같이
with
갈
you.
여기 종이에
Please have the
적힌 장소로
location marked on
가주시면
this piece of
됩니다.
paper.
어째서인가? 자네 혼자서만
Yet
가면 몸이
wherefore,
촉촉할
a journey
터인데.
on thy lonesome shall be so dreary, no?
당연하잖아요.
Isn't it obvious
온갖
we should show up
해결사들이
at the
모여있다는
fixers
곳에서
gathering with the head
우리가
manager
저
of the
부장이랑
whole
같이
department in tow?
들어가면 순식간에
We'll
인기
attract
스타가
more
될
eyes
거예요.
and superstars on a red carpet.
우리랑
Yep, I'm
피사가
sure they'll
모종의
snuff out
연결고리가
our
있다는
connection to
냄새를
P
바로
Corp
맡게
at a
되겠지.
glance.
인기
Yet,
스타.
are not
좋지.
stars of super variety a good goal to strive for? Don Quixote, this might come as news to you, but sometimes words can mean more than one thing at a time.
현장은 뒷골목에 있으니
Here's a pencil to let you move freely between the back streets and the
당분간
nest of P
피사의
Corp.
뒷골목과 둥지를
Do note that
자유롭게
this is
오갈
a
수
work
있는
visa, however,
특수
so
업무
it won't
비자입니다.
last forever.
역시
If they can just hand out something so important this easily, I can't imagine why her department won't be able to handle it themselves. Sinclair was still quietly suspicious, but that small doubt was practically buried in the brief commotion that followed as the sinners gathered in front of Cesar to receive their visa. So Cesar is sus.